Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of the Cryptomaniacs Podcast. I'm John Go. I'm in Peace River, Alberta. Do you know where that is, Taskmaster?
I don't even know where Alberta is, let alone Peace
Agreed.
River.
Yeah. It's a nice place. You should Google it sometime. I was so far north yesterday, man. I was almost in the Northwest Territories.
Dude, I don't even care about Illinois. Why do you think I would care about Canada?
I know. No one really does care about Canada. I don't blame you. Anyways, how was your weekend, man?
It was okay. Just
You
thread it away.
threaded away, dude. That's the one regret I have, definitely, of not being around as much, is not being able to thread as much as I'd like to. So
Yep.
it
Requires
sucks.
some time, but
Yeah,
gotta do what you gotta do.
I got a fantastic hot beverage from the local Starbucks here.
Well, the, I sure think what they charge in US dollars, let alone Canadian dollars.
It was $4 for this. $4
Oh.
for that. So, anyways, hope everyone is doing well. Loads of questions for the threadcast today for the show. So thank you guys for asking questions. We're going to talk crypto. We're going to talk Hive. We're going to talk Leo. We're going to talk, well, what Taskmaster's favorite playlist is that he's creating on Hive on Threads right now. What is it, Task? What is your favorite playlist?
I've been in the classic rock genre mostly. Although I did do two playlists of movie tunes, tunes that are out of,
Yes.
movies. And
I saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, so I just did a post. I got my first playlist over 1,000 page views in total, not the playlist itself, but the playlist plus all the songs in it. So, we got probably 12 to 15 different playlists on here. Wealth West has made some. Tokenize has made some. There's a number of people made one or two. And so, I mean, the goal is to get the first 1,000. We should get that this week, 1,000 songs. And, hopefully over the next 12 to 18 months, we can get 20,000 songs in these playlists. And that should be a good resource in an epicenter. And, make your own playlist, drop them on social media, say, hey, this is what I'm listening to. And maybe a few people click through, a lot of potential with it. If you're going to sit there and listen to music, why just go to YouTube and, click on the recommend, set up a playlist and, do it on Threads. Use Threads as a front end.
Yeah, for sure. I went and parked as far away from everything as I could. As soon as we started the show, a bunch of semis decided to park next to me. So if you hear noise, I was trying to be, away from everyone.
You were just parking where all the hookers are. I know what you're doing.
No, I'm in a Walmart parking lot, man. So I don't.
There's no hookers in Walmart parking lots. Are you saying?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, maybe you're right. I don't know. I've seen women, at least in the States, I've seen women at Walmart, and you wouldn't want it for free, let alone pay for it. But anyway.
Boy, let's dive into the question, shall
we? Have you ever Google searched women of Walmart?
No.
Or girls of Walmart? Go ahead and do it. And just make sure you do it on an empty stomach.
Okay. Thank you for using the image again today, dude. Appreciate it.
That's what, 2 in a row?
It's 2 in a row. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, man.
3, yeah.
Yeah. This is the Threadcast for tonight's show. Let's start it off with Cal. He says, what are the odds you guys see the XRP ruling getting overturned?
Oh, who the hell knows? That's in the court system, coin toss. I think it's a certainty that the SEC will appeal.
Yeah.
But, once you get into the courts, who the hell knows?
Yeah. I don't like. Do you think the SEC's got bigger fish to fry, or is this, does this want to still be the sacrificial lamb of all crypto? Like, Do you think they
No,
want
I
to keep
think
going after this? Or
I think Gensler's gonna. I think they're going to appeal and keep going after him. And no, they're not. I don't believe they'll let this go.
mm,
They don't like this precedent being set that retail investors are not dealing with the security. That's catastrophic to Gensler.
right.
My opinion. I think that goes against his core of what he wants to accomplish. So
I was talking to my buddy today. You can always tell when crypto starts getting in the news. He started asking me about CBDCs. Um, so, well, probably not a good thing. You're obviously not a fan of those, right?
I mean, CBDCs, you have to define what the hell you're talking about. I mean, a CBDC, like a wholesale CBDC, is probably needed because anybody who's tried to send any money internationally, it's a fucking train wreck. It takes forever. It costs a fortune. It's slow. It's inefficient. So, uh, you know, cross border and international payments, that's probably a good thing. And you already have it, quite frankly. Well, you don't have a CBDC, but JP Morgan came out with a coin, and there's like 5 or 6 banks that they're, involved in this little blockchain, and they're sending funds back and forth using that. A retail CBDC, I mean, I've said this all along. The Fed doesn't need a CBDC. They already have it. It's called reserves.
Right.
They're not dollars. They're a bank instrument that's pegged to a dollar. It can be redeemed for a dollar. A dollar in physical currency is the redemption. So I don't think the Fed doesn't really give a shit about that. That's more the politicians, and um,
Yeah.
I think they'll just be epic failures because anybody it's a misunderstanding of monetary history when you think money's in control of the government. Money rarely has been in control of government because money wasn't designed for or by the government. Money's creation was replacement of barter. Money's creation was for business, for commerce, and business people always do it. And a guy I really like and I enjoy, he's just talking about like the end of paper currency, and he's right on the button. It's these politicians want to tax everything, so you
Right.
can't give like $25 to your babysitter, because they want to tax the babysitter on the $25. But the problem with his viewpoint, in my opinion, is people always figure out a way around it. So if you can't use, what we now has banknotes, people figure out something different. I mean, in prisons for decades, the currency was cigarettes. That was the currency. So, people will figure stuff out, business people. And this is why this stupidity about, oh, well, the CBDCs and even you go one step further, oh, Russia and China are doing this.
Yeah.
Who gives a crap? So you think a Chinese company is going to, or a Russian company, or an Australian company, or a Brazilian company is going to use these currencies just because their government says so? No, they're going to use what's most beneficial to them, and that's the currency that's the most liquid, has the most depth, has the cheapest exchange rate. I mean, all of this comes into play when you're a business person.
Yeah.
It's funny how people seem to size this up and say, oh, well, China says this and it's going to come to being, but the US government says this, and oh, they can't do anything with the dollar, they're going to lose. It's like, how stupid is that mentality? So China ordains it, it materializes, and the United States ordains something and it's like it can't be done. Neither of them are in any damn control.
Good point. Very good point. Cal brings it up too. He says, "What do you guys think of Kathy Wood's 1.5 million Bitcoin prediction?" These people I mean, all these people that predict the price of any crypto, not only like Bitcoin. I mean, can you predict the price of this stuff? I can't. I
Sure.
don't even.
Sure, I can. Pick a number: 750,000, 37,000.
You just picked
1,400. I mean, I understand Kathy Wood's reasoning, and maybe she's right. Well, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's the scarcity of it, the fact that Wall Street is going after it, the fact that it's being hijacked, the fact that central banks may get into it. Maybe she does have a point. But anybody who believes, and I haven't watched her stuff recently, I don't know her stance. She is an economist, so they usually botch up money, although she's pretty sharp, but they usually get money wrong anyway. If you believe that this is going to be used as a medium of exchange, I mean, if that's her basis, her basis, if that's the case, her basis is totally off, because who the hell is going to use it as a medium of exchange if it's going up, what is it, 500 times from where it is? No, 50 times. If it goes up 50 times from where it is, who the hell is going to buy a cup of coffee? That means your $4 coffee there, John, if you paid it with Bitcoin, would be $200. Who the hell is going to do that?
I can't wait.
Yeah, nobody's going to do that. So, I mean, could she be right? Yeah. I mean, she's not the first one to propose $1 million, and now she's up the ante to $1.5 million. I don't know. I mean, if you look at it compared to the gold market, it's about 3 times the size of the gold market, maybe a little less. The difference is Bitcoin has properties financially that gold doesn't have. First off, it's easy to transfer. Again, it could be, although I think it's a shitty medium of exchange, but you can collateralize it. And that has huge, huge value. So, I mean, it could happen if central banks and sovereign wealth funds start buying it. I mean, there's only so many out there. And there was a report this week that came out that said potentially 7 million Bitcoin have been lost. That's bigger than any number I've heard. But if that's accurate, you're only looking at 14 million to begin with.
Damn.
Ever. Wow. So, I mean, who knows?
That's insane when you think about it.
Yeah, that's another guess. I mean, how do they know how many Bitcoin are lost?
Bill Pragg said, kinda test. Okay. Welcome.
C-.
Testing. Yes. John Timms says he's got a slew of questions. Big shout out to John Timms. This guy's great. This guy's like the pulse of the question and answers each and every week. Love it. Keep them coming. He wants to know am I worried about driving his truck on icy roads when the winter arrives? No, hopefully I got my passport all in order and I'll be driving through the States then, preferably
Arizona or something.
Arizona, Texas, Nevada, California. Then I don't need to worry about. Yeah, it's a learning experience, man. I mean, it's a lot different because we got to put, especially if we're in the mountains, we got to put chains on our tires.
Yeah.
And they don't teach you that in driving school, how to do that. So it'll be fun. Minus 50, and I'm sitting there trying to put chains on my tires. So I'm grateful that I'm learning this stuff in the summer right now. So, anyways, next question. He said, will ad revenue break the cycle of people selling Hive whenever it pumps and thinking they can rebuy it lower or expected pullback? I don't think nothing will stop the Hive pump, let's sell when moon. That'll never stop. People. I know. I always try to keep a little bit liquid. I know, Task, you always try to keep a little liquid just in case. I don't know if that's there's always pullbacks when things go crazy.
Well, and the ad revenue has nothing to do with Hive. It's Leo, so that has nothing to do with Hive anyway.
That's a good point. Thank you for the question, sir. We got more questions from them, though. It's great. It's lovely. I love it. Will rewarding evergreen content improve retention? That way newbies don't have to rely on whales noticing them and hoping they will get upvoted.
No, because most people, to be honest with you, I'm going to be perfectly blunt. Most people, what do you say, John? They have minds of goldfish. Yeah, I would put the money on the goldfish. At least the goldfish, they're going to be goldfish. Most people can't see past their nose. So no, John. I really don't believe that will help at all because most people can't think 3 days down the road.
Yeah.
Most people are slave mentality. They get a paycheck, that's all they understand. They want more for doing less, and that's all they understand. They are not business people. They don't have a business mindset. They're not going to sit there and take action to go through evergreen content to refresh it and all this other shit. They're just not going to do it. And
Yeah.
the vast percentage. So the vast percentage will end up bitching about the money that those who do take the action are making. And they're going to
Mhm.
be like, well, they're lucky. And why'd they do that? Well, because I went today and I refreshed a post from October 2019. And it took me about a half an hour. And I didn't get anything direct for that. It's not in the window. It's almost 4 years old. And I don't know if that'll ever generate any money.
Right.
But I went and refreshed the content. That's what it takes. Most people aren't going to do that. Look at most posts that are up there. They're garbage. They're horseshit. I mean, they can't even get above 300 words.
Mhm.
There's no headings in it. They have absolutely no idea what the double pound sign means or the single pound sign or the triple pound sign, which if you read anything about SEO in articles or trying to get articles ranked, that's one thing they talk about is headers and
Better. Yeah.
ranking up the content and having flow to your content. You don't see that. You just see people just just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. And it's 300 words, which isn't even hitting like the 700, 750 word minimum they suggest. So, these people aren't serious. So at the end of the day, the answer is going to be the same percentage of people working their ass off now. Those will be the percentage of people working their ass off down the road, and the rest will bitch about it.
Yeah, it's Rich just added something. Crazy Cowboy added in Vim. He said most of the content treated will never benefit from evergreen as it has no long-term value. And I think that goes to, this is the thing. I mean, this is the problem when I think you don't tap into grandma's not here on this social media platform yet. Uncle Bob is not here sharing his fishing pictures yet. That's the intrinsic value for posting content there. They don't care if they get 100 likes. They care that their family sees the picture. That's what they care. They don't care about the likes. They just want their families to see. So Hive is different because, yeah, I want you to see my posts, but selfishly, I want you to upvote my posts because that's the DNA of what we have here right now. Will it become Uncle Bob posting fishing pics and grandma checking it out? Potentially. So I think that's the catch 22 here with
but
what's value.
there's a big difference when you're sitting there writing and what was just said. Yes, most of the content has no value because people didn't have a business mindset when they were writing it before. They were writing pieces of shit, trying to
Right.
scalp a couple upvotes.
Right.
And we've talked about this. Cowboys talked about this branding. I mean, we've been on threads, him and I, you and him, and me and you. I mean, we've all talked about it, branding and the idea of a brand and long-term thinking. And I had one guy, and I just threw it right back at him. And what the hell was it in? It was in, I don't even remember what it was. I put something together, and he put a link to his post in there. And I said, "Is this how you think you're going to succeed on Hive? By dropping a link to your post in a thread that has absolutely nothing to do with it?
Right.
It's like, you think I'm going to upvote you? I'll never upvote you again." I mean, and this is the short-term mindset that these people have. And it's like, it's just baffling. But that's why I say, what does Leo need? What does Hive need? It needs business people. It needs entrepreneurs. It needs people who understand fucking something outside of either coding, putting up stupid posts, or, just doing something because they're bored. You need business people who understand long-term objectives and saying, okay, I'm doing stuff here because I got 400,000 Leo. This is not going to directly benefit me, on the action I'm taking now, but maybe a year and a half, 2 years from now, it's going to have a major impact on my life. That's how business people think. Most people on Hive saying, well, I'll just drop this link here. Hope you upvoted. I'm going back to Web 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm personal experience. I mean, my past history, I hope I've left a, crumb trail of how I think and how I act when I create. But I think that what you just said hammers home the point of why I'm trying to be active on Hive even more so now, while it's not as easy for me to be active as it used to be, because I'm thinking, I make this post today, the rewards are 7 days, whatever, but what about in a year from now? What about in 2 years from now? That's how I'm thinking, especially now.
Well,
that's kind of the way the entrepreneur.
It's like on the AMA today. What happens if a post you write today in your limited time gets you a few upvotes? Fine, but in your limited time, you hit upon a topic that it ranks well in. Okay, it's not like cryptocurrency or blockchain or stock market or anything huge like that, or Bitcoin, but you hit upon a topic, the long tail idea. And what if it generates, I don't know, just making up numbers here, over the course of a month, 400 or 500 clicks for you starting in a year. And if that 400 or 500 clicks has X value to it, and that's above the dust threshold. And so now all of a sudden you get some Leo, whatever that is. It's coming in each and every month off one article. Yep. Now, all of a sudden you have, even if it's, I don't know, pick a number, even if it's $5 a month, you write an article today that a year and a half from now, you start getting $5 a month every month for, whatever. That's $60 a year at $5 a month. Okay. So over 3 years, you made $180 off one article. Now, what if you do that, once a week, or, that's, and we don't know. And something you write might go viral and it might get, 5 times that amount. I mean, who the hell knows? You just never know. But that's why it's even that much more important.
Well, we'll touch a little bit more on this because Nomad Soul, Eric, friend of the show, he's in Vim too. Greetings, sir. And Sensei, how you doing, man? He touches on one of the questions, so we'll dive into that a little bit more. It'll be fun. We're gonna stir the pot a little.
Okay. Thanks, I haven't read the question, so I'm blind here, so I have no idea what's there.
Beautiful. John Timms again. Currently, there is not much incentive to create guides or how-tos for newbies, as a newbie's vote is worth 0 cents. However, does rewarding evergreen content change this? I think it might, but not sure. Well, this is what we did at CTP for years. Even Crazy Cowboy was here. He did this with me when we were back on the old blockchain. We created tutorials for new members. I never created the tutorial trying to cater to the whale. The whale was already set up. My goal and what we were trying to do with the Hive Guide, with Steam Savvy, with all the training at CTP, is we were trying to educate people on Hive specifically. This is why you want to get into Hive. Now, look at our track record. Do we have 10,000 people joining Hive? No, but we got guys like Best Start that are here, that are now, not Apex Lions, but they're leaders of the pack in Leo already because he's invested in Leo. We got Jimmy Adames, who is just crushing it with the content. We got all these people that are the future, I think, of the chain. The people that get it, they might have 0 cents worth of an upvote today, but like you said, Taz, thinking of the future, the entrepreneurial mindset. Let's think 2 to 3 years down the road. That's why we set that up. So I think it's in your best interest, if you're into creating posts or how-to guys for Hive, to get it out there for exactly what you said, John, with the evergreen content, but also what Taz said. You never know when someone will pick up on that. And all of a sudden now you have a very valuable piece of content that's there that's helping people that might get rewarded for years down the road. So that's what I would say.
Well, my view is, first off, I've written a lot of this stuff in Leo Glossary, and it just frustrates me. And people ask a question, go to Leo Glossary. There's a Hive Glossary. There's a Leo Finance Glossary. Each of them has a whole bunch of terms in the explanation. But I think you're onto something there, John, with how-to guides. But I wouldn't write how-to guides on Hive. I'd write how-to guides on other things, exactly for what Django was saying, with the intention of evergreen content. Get that ranking in different areas. Go do some keyword searches and write a how-to guide on, investing in, you know, grain futures or something like that. That's a little bit off center, so you can rank in that keyword. But now you have a well-written article and you optimize it, and that's something that can generate income for you. I mean, John Go, you've known for years. You write these how-to on how to make money online, and okay, that's a little bit generic. So, but you can start to narrow it down to certain areas, and I think that would be a great way to start a library for yourself, John, of how-to guides on different things. If you start writing them on Hive, the problem is Hive doesn't rank very well.
Right.
Leo Finance, you can write it on there, but it doesn't rank very well, and it starts getting into things. There, Leo Threads is really good for answering questions for newbies. It's giving newbies a place to come and say, what does this mean? How do I do this? What is this? And people are actually there to answer. And people will answer. So, how-to guides, answer questions in your posts are great ways for SEO.
You see what Eliana put in there in chat there? She said, yeah, you can show up enough to get noticed and one day take part of the team of their own senseis. So that's Eliana created a how-to guide for CTP back in the day. And before you know it, she's part of the team, and now she's the owner of CTP. I'm not saying that's going to happen for everyone that creates this stuff, but that's the entrepreneurial mindset of do it. Don't worry about what the payout is going to be right away. Do it because you're adding value.
Yeah, you don't know where shit'll go. You just have no idea what's going to unfold, what contacts you'll make, who's going to run into you, who's going to see you. You just have no clue. I mean, let's be honest. You said he's listening, Eric. Do you think if you asked Eric 4 years ago if he'd be, one of the leading business people involved in Leo Finance or in one of the leading tribes on Hive, what do you think he would have said? He would have said, "Are you crazy?" No, but that's exactly where he is now. I don't think he set out for it 4 years ago, but that's where he ended up.
Well, if you ever get a chance, ask him the story about him and block trades. It's fascinating. And it caters exactly to that just do it mentality. And Eric lived by it when he was getting started on this blockchain. So for sure, just do it. Everything else will work out. You just get out there. So anyways, John Timms again. See, I'm telling you, you need to get a badge for him, specific for him, because he's just asking all these awesome questions. Dow's, I think, put out a post a while ago about how the amount of liquid HBD keeps going down thanks to the 20% APR. People putting it all in savings. Any word on whether HBD bonds are on the Hive roadmap?
I wouldn't say that they are. I mean, it's
get tasked talking about this.
The way I designed it, I don't know if anybody else has any other ways, but it requires really a time vault written at the base layer. That's the best way. Maybe when Speak Network rolls out their stuff with their smart contracts, maybe there'll be a way to do it in smart contracts at the second layer. I don't know, but I mean, it's nothing on the horizon that I know of.
Can Hive handle a sudden surge in users? I'm thinking if Leo Threads goes viral for whatever reason, we'd be in trouble. Thinking of bottleneck would be the bottleneck would be the new account tokens.
Yeah, Hive. You got to isolate where you're talking,
Right.
and also you got to define viral. Are you talking 50,000 users? Or are you talking 20 million? In terms of the blockchain with the activity, the blockchain itself can handle a lot more. Block Trades has tested this thing out, and there's a lot of room to run. Um,
Yeah.
the APIs would be a problem, but not so much since Cal's already talked about setting up a specific API for Leo threads. So that would help. You're right. The accounts would be the problem. Again, depending on the number. If you're talking 50,000, okay, that could be covered. If you're talking 5 million, that might be a little bit difficult.
Right.
Um, and then you get into the situation: can the UI handle it? And that's the third layer or fourth layer. I don't even know what layer I'm at yet. But we already see that there's some problems. We know that we scaled it to 20 or 25,000. If that number, John, jumped to 350,000 threads in a day, could it handle it? Probably not. Could the development team fix it in a quick period of time? Probably so.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to keep pushing and keep telling people, we got to run this sucker up to 50K in a day. And if it breaks, that'd be a good thing because, then the developers get all that data and they can, scale better.
Mhm.
And that's exactly that's one thing Zealy did accomplish is we, got that 20 plus thread day in there, a couple of them, and things broke, but they got the data. And now, I mean, I think Cal last time he said I want the AMAs. He's pretty confident we could push probably 50 right now without a problem, maybe 100, but there'll probably be things breaking before we got to 100. But
Yeah.
that's just the phasing it. Then you go to 250, 500, and a million. You just got to keep working up the scale.
Another question: why do the Hive discount bridges like BSwap keep getting drained of liquid Hive, leaving mostly only Hive.swap most of the time? It never used to be this persistently unbalanced. Well, we ran HivePay swap. We created it. Hash Kings now takes care of it, and we self-funded it. We Eliana, Blaine, and myself are not whales. It was all out of pocket. I think we put 2,000 Hive in, and Hive was like 40 cents or something then. So it was our own money in it. The problem is people want to do the discount swapping. You're not making money because it's like a race to the bottom for fees. Even Hive Engine had to bring their fees down because you're not making money. Trust me. Trust me when I say this. HivePay made nothing for us. But we wanted to offer the service. We wanted to make it really easy for people. But it's just that people choose the ones that are the lower fees, and the lower fees, unfortunately, are usually self-funded. So you got guys like Hive Engine. Well, look what's backing Hive Engine. You got Splinterlands, the behemoth. So they'll never run out of liquidity because they got more crypto than I'll see in my lifetime. We had 2,000 Hive that we could play with. That was it. And we might add 5 Hive from the fees a week, maybe, if it was pretty active. So that's why it gets drained. It's just because everyone goes to the cheapest option, and the cheapest option usually doesn't have the backing of Splinterlands.
Yeah, and I would say now you got more stuff going on layer 2 than you did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So you have, different diesel pools and different type this and different types that, and there's more games and more, different things that are
More
going on.
people swapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question, though. Definitely. How much RC does a Hive comment cost versus a Splinterlands JSON? Well, does it cost a lot more RC than the JSON? I'm asking
Yes.
because Splinterlands caused Hive prices to go up when it was temporarily viral back in the day.
I don't know if I have it on this computer. Let's see. Yeah, it is. What was the question?
What's more expensive, the JSON or
Oh,
the
good.
RC for the comments?
JSON is the cheapest. A comment cost point. It. All right, I'll give you the RCs. A comment, which that's what a thread is, 1.19 billion. Custom JSON 0.175 billion. High power equivalent 0.67 high power for a comment, 0.099 for a custom JSON. So you're looking at 6.5 times, seven
Wow.
times, call it 7 times a comment versus a custom JSON.
That's crazy.
So yes, and this is why, and it looks like I can't see, but is that a Nomad Soul coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
Sure.
he's one of the people. Him and Hive Trending are the two people behind News to Threads. This is their baby,
Right.
and I've been using it, and I've
Okay.
threaded a couple of times how this is a vacuum for resource credits. And as you can see, when you look at 0.67 high power for each comment, well, these are putting up 4, 5, 6 for every single one of these news to threads that is put up. It's like a thread storm.
Yeah.
So you can figure throughout the day, if we're doing, 50, 60, 70 of them, they're starting to suck up some power. And quite frankly, I could see if you get that thing up to, I don't know, 60, 70, 100 different sites that it works with, and you get, I don't know, a few dozen people using it, that thing's going to suck up incredible amount of RC. And it's the same thing with your power threaders. They're going to be using up a shitload of RCs.
Love it. You ready to stir the pot?
Sure.
Eric, friend of the show. Stance of both of you about Evergreen being the tipping for creators to use Leo Finance. Some OGs refuse to thread, to pull, refuse to do everything because dino mindset and long form content. And he did it in the SpongeBob up and down letters. Will they refuse to earn rewards in prosperity?
Yes. Yes, quite simply. My opinion is yes. I think there's a section of old guards that don't like Leo whatsoever. Nomad Soul knows this intimately because he's been the one out there talking to him, and he's gotten the feedback face to face, or face. He's gotten the feedback directly. Um, I don't think it will cause people to come over to Leo. I
From
don't
Hive.
think
Right?
I don't think it'll cause them to change. In fact, I'll be honest with you. I don't think, forget the old guard, I don't think most people will change. I don't think the Ecency people will change. They'll stick on Ecency. The number of people who still use Hiveblog for whatever reason, I don't know. It's still astronomical. I don't think they'll change. I think Leo's future is in us building from within, us doing the heavy lifting, getting the numbers up, and then pulling in new people. And I don't think you're going to pull in the Hive people till much later, till it's till they're hit in the face with a fish so damn big it would make Ahab blush. I mean, that's the only way. And when you have people making obscene amount of money through the ad revenue, then you may have some of these people acquiesce. But until that point, I think I think they've just battened down the hatches, and they're not gonna move.
Stuck in their ways.
Yeah,
Stubborn goats. Yes.
yeah. I mean, when we had oh shit, I always Elmer on, and from Lycaton.
Yeah.
And he talked about this, and there's a whale. I mean, there's a whale who went and bought his whale status. He paid money,
Yep.
and he had these arguments. I mean, he even said it when he was on the show. He's like, he'd be talking to these people, and they start with the quality content. He's like, not this bullshit again.
Right.
We've been talking about this for 4 or 5 years.
It's stupidity.
Yeah.
So let's put this into, context here. Threads. That's not supposed to be Picasso. That's not supposed to be 500 word articles with headers and SEO. That's not what it's for. That's the micro content that for whatever reason these people have a problem with. But Leo also has a pretty damn good editor that's based on Hive for the long form, but they still don't. I don't get it. It's like Leo is crossing off everything off of the checklist of things we need. Is it just, I personally think it's because they can't control layer 2.
That may be the case. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's to think you weren't going to ever have to face and be confronted with layer 2. I mean, that goes back to what I say about the markets. I mean, you're out of touch with reality if you think the markets will never go down. If you didn't think you would have to deal with layer 2 on a blockchain, you're not in touch with reality. I mean, layer 2, it's open source. It's going to be there. And, so I don't know. I mean, I go back to what I was saying before, John, you're not dealing with business people.
Right.
If you got people with a business mindset, understand. I understand when I put forth effort and I don't get a direct reward for this effort put into Leo. I understand that I got 400,000+ Leo. My reward's down the road. My reward's when Leo hits $1. My reward's when Leo hits $1.50. My reward's when Leo hits $2 or whatever it does. My reward's when Leo hits 25 cents. Doesn't matter the number. And that's why, I mean, I don't even look at what I make in rewards on Leo. I can't tell you what my posts are. I don't look at my wallet to see what comes in every day. I have absolutely no freaking clue. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to do the same activity, regardless of, whether the post gets, earns 50 Leo, earns 5 Leo. I mean, I'm going to still put in the effort, because it's not about what the reward is today or what the reward is this second. It's going to be, I'm getting rewarded in an asset that has the ability to appreciate.
Exactly.
It's like if your Leo payout is, I don't know, I'll pick a number, 25 cents, and Leo 10x's, now that payout on that post was $2.50. That's a lot different than 25 cents.
Exactly.
And what if you're doing that every day? Then you got a different story a year down the road.
That's what I'm saying. That's my mentality now.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not a hard concept. And there's enough, I'll use a market term, John. There's enough alpha here to outpace, basically most investments that we'll ever see. Because, even like Tesla, okay, what's it at? Like almost $300. Could that go to $2,000? Yeah, that's a 6x. What does a 6x on Leo get us? To like 50 cents, 40 cents? I mean, come on, this is a no-brainer. So if you want to see a potential 10x, 20x, 50x, that's Leo, in my opinion.
Yep. John Timms, why do institutions seem to support mostly the chains with high fees like Bitcoin and Ethereum and ignore the rest? Bankers, man.
Well,
banker chain, man.
Well, no, part of it's liquidity. I mean,
true.
You can't have an institution buying into Hive. First off, how the fuck do they get it? I mean, most of us can't in the United States and North America can't figure out how to get Hive. You think an institution? I mean, let's go to Kathy Wood. Mm-hmm. If she wanted to buy $5 million worth of Hive, how would she go out and do it? What would that be? I mean, she moved the market first off, and then if they need to exit, how do they do it? And this is what people don't understand. This is why I just laugh at these dumbasses. Oh, the dollar's going dead. Listen, if you're an institution and you have to move large sums of money, and when I say large sums, I'm talking billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. You're not going to do that in anything other than a dollar. If you want to dump $1.5 billion of something, probably the only thing you're going to be able to get in and out of at that type of money is Bitcoin.
Right.
You might not even be able to do Ethereum. I don't know. I haven't looked at trading volume on Ethereum. But, again, if Kathy Wood is going to go in with $5 million on something like Hive, what does she do with it, even if she gets it? If she wants to exit the position, she'd kill the market. She'd crash it. So that's why these institutions don't deal with the little stuff, is liquidity. One of the biggest things is, do I have the ability to get my money out if I need to? If you're trying to get 500, 1,000, 10,000 Hive, yeah, it's not a problem. You try to move 15 million Hive, somebody's going to notice.
Yep. Good point. Got a question from Bradley Arrow. He's got actually a slew of questions. When adult threads? That's weird. But soon. When is your next guest and who is it? No idea, because my life is in utter chaos. So, and finally, do you believe in global warming?
No. Why?
Neither do I.
They don't even call it, Bradley. Look how far behind. They changed it like 15 years ago to climate change. It's no longer global warming.
Yeah.
He's slow.
We're stirring the pot today, man. We're talking Hive OGs and global warming conspiracies. I like it. Tokenized Society, friend of the show. Hello, Maniacs. If Hive hits haircut price, HBD stops being printed. Does that mean that any HBD on savings will stop generating interest for as long as the haircut is in place? Really good question.
No, the interest is still paid.
Yeah.
It's the rewards that go out, and I believe the proposals then switch to Liquid Hive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Are you guys excited about NFL Threadcasts? I think we're going to do some legendary stuff when the time comes. Oh, I am.
I'm excited to see what happens with this, because I saw what happened with EPL.
Yeah.
And the NFL is, in terms of passion, the number one sport in North America.
For sure.
If for no other reason, they only, like EPL, they only play it once a week.
Yeah.
So it's something that gears people up. And I think the Threadcast, if you get 3 or 4 people in a Threadcast around a game who are fans of those teams in the game, I think you're going to see.
It's the greatest 18 weeks.
I think you're going to see 500 comment Threadcasts.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah. When betting on Leo. Yeah, exactly. That's what Nomad Soul said. Yeah. Jeez, that's, let's do it. Let's do a Leo fantasy football this year.
Yeah. And we had, what did we do? I think the AMA today, they set a record for the AMA. I think they did 350 threads in, comments in the Threadcast.
Crazy.
I know one of the EPLs, they did 500 or 600, but they were having problems with that. Like Cal said, it's been updated where it no longer freezes up at 100. So, I think Threadcasts have huge potential, and I think you guys who are NFL fans, and I'll be there messing around. I don't watch a lot of NFL football, but it'll be great to watch you guys.
You guys got to pay your running back.
What's that?
You guys got to pay your running back.
Why the hell do you pay a running back? Even as great as Barkley is, all that money for a running back in this day and age.
I know that's the rage today on Twitter about
Yeah,
the running back union.
yeah, it's like, this isn't Emmett Smith time or John Riggins time where you just hand them the ball 35 times and just say go plow ahead. I mean, it's change, but I think Threadcast and RM Sad Creek keeps screaming about it, and I keep mentioning it. I think if we have a Threadcast schedule or a Threadcast page, something like that, where you got your Buffalo Bill game, John, coming up at 1 o'clock today. 11 o'clock, you go in and you post a Threadcast. 1 o'clock today, Eastern time, Bills versus New England. Here it is, and you can get in there and do pregame conversation. And the New England quarterback is questionable. He ain't going to play. Blah blah blah.
Macaroni Jones.
I didn't even know who the quarterback was. I was going to say Brady, but I knew he was gone.
No.
But I think there's tremendous potential there because I know there's a lot of NFL fans, and Token Eyes in Brazil's an NFL fan. You'll get Dave Dickey in there because I don't know if he's an NFL fan or just likes gambling on the NFL, but either way, he's in there.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever attracts you. I know you're a big fan, and I don't know if Eric's a fan or not from Mexico, but
he is. He is.
He is. So
he's gonna be a guest on our Sunday night podcast in the NFL season.
There you go. So I mean that you're getting people from at least this hemisphere, and I don't know if Nifty's an NFL fan, but you tell him that there's feet involved, he probably will jump in there. I mean, he likes feet. We know
feet.
It's called football, so
yeah, there you go. Speaking of Nifty, he ends the show today. First of all, he wants to know where I'm streaming from. Sir, I am in Peace River, Alberta. I was in High Level, Alberta last night, which is so damn close to the Arctic, it's ridiculous. But Peace River is a lovely little town in northern Alberta. Very nice, very, very scenic. I'm in the Walmart parking lot right now. So if you are in Peace River, come say hi. Just don't say hi in about an hour because I'll be sleeping. But and then finally he says, Task, is the bull market kicking off? Where are we with being rich and when moon?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked at the liquidity in the overall, but I mean, you're in such a deflationary period that I can't believe the Fed is not going to have to reverse course here soon. And once the Fed reverses course, that's a signal for the markets to take off. And then to me, I believe it's risk on. So Sapphire Crypto feels we're going to sideways trade throughout the rest of this year in crypto and then kick off in 2024. That may not be the worst idea in the world either. I don't think we're too far away. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if we're going to go and retreat back to the lows in Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the major coins. I think the lows are in. So,
So we're not bull yet, but lows are in.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at where Bitcoin is. I mean, Bitcoin's up like 100% from the end of last year. So, I mean, it's double. So, I mean, what do you want? I mean, I know crypto things, a 1x isn't a big deal. But I think, like you said, there's little signs there. People are starting to ask about CBDCs and, if you start to here's another indicator. I don't watch any of this shit, but if you start to see like maybe clips on YouTube of like CNBC, their shows, or Bloomberg, their shows, and all of a sudden they have all these people on there talking about crypto, they haven't been doing that lately since it's been in the toilet. That's probably another indicator that, things are moving. So it's like the old adage, just keep watching who's talking about it. When you start to hear people who you're kind of surprised have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, but they're starting to talk about Bitcoin, and you're sitting there doing a double take, then it may be like, okay, this is starting to kick off. That's why those Google trends, for search of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Coinbase, all of that. But I really haven't delved into the risk on. I haven't looked at what Megatech's doing, so they might have one more pullback, and then it's going to be off to the races. And if high PE Megatech is running, crypto's running, because that's the risk stuff, and people are taking risk on.
There you go. We did it. Episode, I think this is 237. So we're 13 away from 250. Pretty cool.
Not 240 yet?
Almost. Next week will be at 240. If we keep the schedule, if my life allows it. But awesome show, man. Thank you guys for all the questions, for hanging out on Vim, hanging out on YouTube, everyone on Threads too. You guys make this show so much fun. Be good to each other. When Moon, have fun. Enjoy it. Use it. And we'll see you guys Thursday. Crossing fingers. Toodles.
Ciao.